Concerned about the safety of lives of citizens on federal highways, the Federal Ministry of Works, Power and Housing has embarked on a public awareness-creating meeting to educate users on the expressways. In Umuahia, the Abia state capital, a stakeholders meeting was held at the office of the Federal Ministry of Works to remind road users not to abuse the right-of-way.
Cows stroll lazily along the Port Harcourt Expressway, a danger to unsuspecting motorists. And here, along the Umuahia-Ikotokpane Highway, heavy-duty vehicles are parked. As if that's not enough, traders have built shops on the opposite side and display their wares. That's what has prompted this meeting at the office of the Federal Ministry of Works in Umuahia. An engineer with the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency is happy that after this meeting, there will be no excuse of ignorance of the law for offenders, some of whom have re-erected structures that were pulled down in the past.
It's the right gathering to look at so because if we just move in and start destroying people's properties and words along the road, I think people will term it as federal government being vindictive.
The penalties are spelled out.
If any obstruction is created within this interval, we have to pull it down at the expense of the person who caused the obstruction. Then the second penalty is that the defaulter is to pay 500,000 naira fine. And thirdly, the defaulters, if taken to court, can be sentenced to imprisonment of not exceeding 18 months.
Participants agreed that road repair will also go a long way in discouraging street hawkers who take advantage of traffic snarls that bad spots create to sell their wares.
Now, in politics, ahead of the governorship election in Ondo State, the All Progressives Congress, the APC, has given a directive to all its aspirants to adhere to the guidelines of the elections. The State Executive Council of the party met with aspirants at the party headquarters in Akure. About 10 aspirants were present at that meeting.
The level of internal democracy in APC is such that after the primary, all the aspirants will band together to support whoever emerges from the primary. What causes crisis in political parties, and in part the opposition party, which is the PDP, is lack of internal democracy. The party has set out the constitution and the guidelines for the conduct of primary election. All of us are playing by the rule. The moment a free, fair, credible primary has been conducted with no interference from any quarters, I assure you that all of us, and I say this with every sense of modesty and responsibility, we abide by the outcome of the primary.
Southwest to the south-south, in Cross River State, a group of militants have dissociated themselves from the recent clashes and attacks across the state. The group is pointing accusing fingers at politicians who they allege are sponsors of the suspected cultist groups carrying out the attacks. It will be recalled that the state governor, Professor Ben Ayade, recently read a riot act to criminals and led a show of force to show them his commitment to rid the state of all forms of crime.
These are suspected criminals on parade for various offenses in Calabar. Crimes ranging from armed robbery, cultism to kidnapping. A show that the security agencies are holding their own against lawbreakers. So when the report of the takeover of the Bakasi community by militants known as Bakasi Strike Force broke, an uneasy calm hovered over the state. Residents moved around cautiously, not knowing what to expect. The news led to the Nigerian army and police stepping in to take control of the situation.
It's not been easy, but these are part of the sacrifice that we must make to ensure that peace reigns in our communities. I want to urge you to remain focused, operate within the rules of engagements as has been given to you. We are quite satisfied with the effort you have put in, to at least stabilize the situation.
The state governor also read the Riot Act to the militants.
I want to assure the people of Cross River State that we have understood the basis of this crime. We have names, we have security report of specific people, their homes, their agents, their modus operandi has been well analyzed by my security commanders. And we are confident that the action you will see in a matter of days to come, you will see a difference.
But there appears to be a strange twist with this interview granted exclusively to Channels Television by the militant group, who laid the blame of the breakdown of security at the doorstep of politicians.
Rather, I would like to emphasize that all these pockets of violence, robberies, and kidnapping are being perpetuated by cultist elements who were used for election by politicians and later dumped.
Many questions arise from this. If the militant group are seeking peace, why are they in hiding? What is the state government doing about their requests? Who is the sponsor behind the group? For those questions to be answered, the most logical thing to do is probably for all parties to dialogue, and quickly too. Because the longer this drags, the more difficult it will be to keep the peace which is presently being monitored.
And that's where we called it a day for this edition of News Across Nigeria, where from the north, south, east, and west, we tell you what's happening across the Nigerian Federation. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.